भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो मुरली मनोहर नंद लाला
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 भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की
जय।
On Friday, when I began this series, I explained as an introduction why we need to understand about our relationship with Shri Krishna. I told you that our ultimate goal is happiness, and only Shri Krishna is happiness. We cannot find the perfect happiness that we desire in this world. We can only find it from God. This world has a limited amount of happiness and unhappiness, but it is all experienced based on our own thinking. Wherever we're attached, we receive happiness from that thing or person when we get it in the way we want, and when we don't get it, then we experience unhappiness, or if we lose that thing or that person. But it's all based on our thinking, our attachments, and our desires. If our attachments, desires, if those change due to our thinking, then our experience of individual people and objects also changes. But I told you in the divine world, happiness is a real thing. It's a substantially existing, essential power. Therefore, those who attain that divine bliss are perfectly happy forever. This is the ultimate goal of every soul. The only chance to attain that goal is when we receive a human birth. That is why the human birth is so rare and sought after by all souls. Even those who are born in Swarg long for the chance to be born as human again, so that they can attain God, which they can't accomplish while they're in Swarg. I also explained to you that we are not true devotees yet, because a true devotee of Krishna is one whose mind is always in him. He is 100% surrendered to Shri Krishna. They have 100% faith in Shri Krishna, and in fact they see Krishna all the time around them. That is a bhakt. So in other words, that is a God-realized soul. That's our goal, to become a real bhakt like that. Right now we are sadhak. We are spiritual aspirants or practitioners. We're following the path of devotion in order to become true bhakt. Bhakt means devotee. We want to become true devotees. The means of becoming a true devotee, I also explained, is the path of bhakti. Karma and Gyan are incomplete without the path of devotion. However, devotion does not depend on any other practice, does not need to be supplemented by any other path. It, in fact, should be free of the interference of karma and Gyan. Although a devotee, although a sadhak has to do a certain amount of physical karma in the world in order to maintain their body and their family and maintain harmony in their life, health and harmony. But those are incidental. Those karma are incidental. They're secondary. They're not the main aim of our life. The main aim is to do bhakti, to attain God. Similarly, we need knowledge in order to practice bhakti, but that knowledge is not havi. That knowledge is not more important than devotion. Knowledge is supposed to lead to devotion. Jagadguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj gives an analogy about understanding the value of something. And when you understand the value, then you naturally develop love for that thing. If we have correct knowledge about God, love for God will follow naturally. So knowledge is important on the path. The analogy he gives is, if you are walking somewhere and you find a ring, it's shiny, you think, oh, it's probably costume jewelry, just a shiny piece of glass made to look like a diamond in this ring. Can't be real. So you pick it up, take it home, let your kid play with it. Your 5-year-old kid, it's like a dress-up toy for them. After some days, your friend who knows something about such things, because he's a jeweler, he comes by and he sees your child playing with that ring, and he says, "Where did you get that?" And you tell him, "I just found it lying over there." He takes out his eyepiece and he examines it, and he says, "This is a rare blue diamond. I would appraise this ring at $1 million. Now look at how your feelings towards the ring change. Initially, you thought it was of almost no value. So you had no attachment to it, no love for it. And as soon as he told you that this ring is worth $1 million, the true value became known to you. Automatically, you're looking at that ring with love in your eyes. Well, this is my ring? I'm a millionaire now? As soon as you have the knowledge of the value of that thing, love follows instantly. This is why we also need knowledge on the path to God. Of course, to clear doubts and clarify any questions we may have, but in addition to that, to help us develop love for God. Therefore, today we're going to cover briefly some points about our relationship with Sri Krishna. The rest of the week will be devoted to understanding the special relationship between a God-realized soul and Sri Krishna. However, Sri Krishna has already and eternally a relationship with each and every person. Sadhak, atheist, and everyone in between. He has the same relationship with everybody. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyah. In the Gita, Shri Krishna says, I don't give any particular favor to anyone. I treat everyone the same, whether they love me or hate me. I'm the same to everyone. However, then in the second half he says, that those who always keep their mind in me, those who have surrendered to me, they, however, receive a special grace. So there is a general grace we would call Shri Krishna's Sadharan Kripa. That Kripa is on all the souls. That grace is on all the souls. So at some level, all souls have a relationship with Shri Krishna. But then those who surrender to Shri Krishna, they receive his Vishesh Kripa, his special grace, and that allows them to experience the special relationship with Shri Krishna. That special relationship we'll save for tomorrow. Today let's understand what is the Sadharan Kripa, the general grace of Shri Krishna on all the souls. There's a Veda mantra that can help us understand this. This next part will be a little technical, but not for too long. And then if I have time at the end, I'll see if any of you have any questions. We can review by taking some of your questions, or maybe I'll quiz you. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vriksham parikhasvajate tayoranya pippalam swadvatya nashnan nanyo abhichakashiti. This Ved mantra is found in several different Upanishads. Mundakopanishad, Shvetashvatropanishad, Kathopanishad, etc. It's even found in the Bhagavatam. And it tells 4 ways that we're related to Shri Krishna. So we'll look at these and we'll understand what is his general grace on us. The first way in which we're related is called Sajatya Sambandh. Jati means a type, a category. Sajatya means of the same category, of the same type. We are sajatiya with Shri Krishna. What does that mean? Well, this mantra explains this with a metaphor. It says that there are 2 birds sitting in a tree. These 2 birds are eternally together, and they're friends, but one bird has forgotten the other bird. The first bird is watching the other bird, eternally watching, but the second bird has forgotten about the first bird. The second bird is busy trying to find some sweet fruits to eat on that tree, and sometimes it gets some sweet fruits, sometimes it gets some bitter, sour fruits. So it's busy doing that. The first bird is just watching. It's not eating the fruits. It's just watching the second bird and waiting for that second bird to notice, oh, my friend is here with me. The 2 birds are God and the soul. Although there are infinite souls in existence, but for this metaphor, we're just saying one soul. So each of us can imagine ourselves as that one bird, and the other bird is Shri Krishna. What is this Sajatya Sambandh? Well, we're both birds, see? We're both the same type. What does this mean? It means if we compare the 3 things that exist, God, souls, and Maya, the world, the universe, is made of Maya. So Maya is one thing, souls the second thing, God the third thing. Or I should say God the first thing. He's the most important. Souls and Maya. Maya is vijatiya. Vijatiya means not of the same type as God. Why? Because God is Chetan. God is alive. God knows, thinks, feels, experiences, decides, does. He does all of those things that a living being does. Although God is the supreme being, but he is a living being. Maya is a lifeless energy. There is no life in an atom. It doesn't have a personality, it doesn't have thoughts, it doesn't have desires or hopes or pain. It's a non-living energy. All the matter, all the energy of the universe is jara, non-living. And God is Chetan. What about souls? We are Sajatiya with God. We are also Chetan. We're alive. We think, feel, perceive, decide, do. So for this reason, we are put in the same category as God, and Maya is said to be its own category. It is Vijatiya. So this is Sajatya Sambandh. Sambandh means relationship with Shri Krishna. So I told you this mantra tells 4 aspects of our relationship with Shri Krishna. The first one is we are Sajatiya with him. We have Sajatya Sambandh. We are related to him because we are of the same type. Although he is Mahachetan, Chetanash Chetananam, Shvetashvataropanishad says he's the one giving life, consciousness, Chetanatva to us. We're not giving it to him. He is his own source of consciousness, and he is our source of life and consciousness as well. But both are Chetan. We are Chetan, he is Chetan. So that's Sajatya Sambandh. The next one described is Sadeshya Sambandh. Desh means place, sthan. And again, Sa, the same, Sadeshya. God and the soul are roommates. Some people, if they rent, like when they go to college, they can't afford a whole house for themselves. They stay in the same house with someone else. They have a flatmate. Or kids, when they're young, they may share a room. They may both have a bed in the same room. They're roommates. God and the soul are like this. See, this metaphor in this mantra is telling about the tree. 2 birds in the same tree. One bird is the soul, one bird is God. So what is that tree? It is the body, our physical body. This is our ghar. This is our house. We live in this body, right? We are not the body. We live in the body. So one bird resides in here. The body here is the tree. One bird is living there. The other bird is also living there. Our soul lives inside our body. And guess what? God also lives inside our body, side by side with us in here. So we're roommates. Sadeshya Sambandh. However, it's even more than that. Sayuja. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. Sayuja indicates Sayujya Sambandh. Yujya means not just side by side, but in a state of union. Sayujya, why? Because God is not just side by side with us inside the body, God lives inside our soul. That means if this body is our house, our soul lives inside this body, then our soul is God's house. God lives inside our soul. Like our soul gives life to this body, God gives life to our soul. This is Sayujya Sambandh. Yuj, like yog, comes from the word yog, yuja. Yuj means to combine, to join. So Sayujya Sambandh, in fact, to say that we are roommates with God, if you're roommates, like Sadeshya Sambandh, you still have some space between you and your roommate. You can get close, but there's still some space. But if God is living inside of your soul, then there's nothing, there's no separation. You are pervaded by Him. Eko deva sarvabhuteshu gudha sarvavyapi sarvabhutantaratma. Shvetashvatropanishad says that Supreme God Shri Krishna is hiding inside here. Sarvabhuteshu gudha. He is secretly, invisibly living right in here, inside of each of us. That's why Jagadguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj says, you know how that person feels when they find out that ring is worth $1 million? I'm a millionaire? So they love that thing that made them a millionaire, and they also feel puffed up. I am a millionaire. Now the way they walk around and carry themselves is different. Shri Kripaluji Maharaj says, the Lord, owner and controller of infinite planetary systems in endless galaxies in this limitless universe, the owner, controller, and Lord of all of that is living right here inside of you. If you know that, how are you going to walk around? What do you have to be afraid of? What do you have to worry about? What? Krishna is right here. The Lord of the universe is residing within me. So you should feel like, never mind a millionaire or billionaire, you should feel like an infinitaire. You have all of that within you. This is Sayujya Sambandh. Shri Krishna is living right in here. Now, we may forget Him, we may not experience Him due to our forgetfulness, but He's always there. He never leaves us. When we die and our soul leaves our body and we go to another body, Krishna goes with us. If we're born as an insect, Krishna is still inside of us. That's why we even have to show kindness to other species. Our Shri Krishna never... Of course we have to show kindness to other human beings. Krishna resides in the heart of every person that we meet. But Krishna resides within the soul of each and every plant, tree, insect, animal. In infinite lifetimes, He has been within us in each and every birth. And however many more births it takes us to attain Him, He will keep following us, going with us in every janma that we take. So we've covered Sajatya Sambandh, Sadeshya Sambandh, and Sayujya Sambandh. The fourth and final one is Sakhya Sambandh. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. We have a Sakhya Sambandh with Shri Krishna. It's not just a technical Sambandh. Technical means like, okay, Krishna is Anshi, we are His Ansh, right? We are a part of His Jeev Shakti. He has Swarup Shakti that gives Him all His godly qualities and characteristics. He has Maya Shakti with which He creates the universe, and He has Jeev Shakti which is not belonging to Maya, nor is it Swarup Shakti because all the souls have limited power. So we are ansh of, or a part of His soul power, Jeev Shakti. So you can technically describe our relationship with Shri Krishna like that. That's also why we have Sayujya Sambandh with Him. A power can never be separate from its base. The Shakti can never be separate from its Shaktiman. We are Shri Krishna's Shakti. We are Ansh, or a part of his Jeev Shakti. Therefore, we can never be separate from him. So we have Sayujya Sambandh. We can understand this technically, but we can enrich in our understanding by talking about our Sakhya Sambandh. Shri Krishna has anurag for us. It's not just that we are some ansh of one of his powers and he looks at us like an atom looks at an electron. Oh yes, you're a smaller part of my power. Okay. No. Shri Krishna sees us as Amritasya vai putraha Ved. All those ansh, all those souls, they are his children. He looks at us with mamata. He doesn't just look at us as in some constitutional way. How are we related to him constitutionally or technically? No, he looks at us emotionally. Although he has to give us the consequences of our karma without interfering and without favoring or disliking anybody. So in that way he has to do it systematically because that's what's fair. But at the same time he has personal attachment to each and every soul and wants each and every soul to find perfect happiness. This is why we say we have Sakhya Sambandh with Shri Krishna. He loves us even if we forget him. Look at how much he's doing for us, even for souls who don't believe in him or never remember him. Number one, he's giving life to our soul. You think he would get tired of sitting inside of each and every one of the infinite souls in existence since eternity till now, sitting inside of them, giving life to them? No, he never gets bored. He happily does it. Then, during Pralay, he thinks, well, I did Pralay, and now all these souls who aren't God realized, they're sitting in my Mahodar, they're residing within me in a state of dormancy, so they have no means of attaining me. Those souls who have attained God, they're not affected by the Pralay of the universe because Bhagwan's divine abode is beyond Maya. So when the Mayic universe dissolves, the divine world is unaffected. There's no Srishti and Pralay over there. Just permanent existence of the divine world. So the souls who go over there, they permanently enjoy the unlimited bliss and they ever partake in the divine leelas. But what about us who aren't God realized? During Pralay, we have no opportunity to attain God. We aren't experiencing anything. It's like being in a coma for that period of Pralay. So out of a desire to give the souls that opportunity, Bhagwan does Srishti. He has no other reason to do Srishti. Why would he activate Maya? Maya is a lifeless energy. It has no desire to be activated. Maya's not sitting there thinking, I'm bored. When is Bhagwan going to activate me? Maya has no thoughts, no feelings. It's just a Jada Shakti. God activates it for us. Okay, Maya is activated. The universe is once again manifested outwardly. The galaxies and planetary systems take form, and souls are sent to take birth in those on those earth planets, in those planetary systems. So he does Srishti for us. Then, before he sends ordinary souls to be born as humans, he sends rishis on earth with the knowledge of Vedas, Puranas, all the holy Sanskrit scriptures. Why? Because we need guidance. If the whole purpose of doing Srishti is to give souls a chance to be born as human, and then do bhakti to attain perfect happiness through God, then obviously we're going to need some guidance. So he also manifests these eternal scriptures through the saints that he sends on earth. So he does srishti, he's already giving life to our soul, he gives us a human birth, he sends saints on earth, he makes the scriptural knowledge available through those saints. He keeps track of every karma of every soul everywhere in this universe because he has to give us the consequences, because that's part of the whole system that inspires us to improve ourselves, because we know we're going to get the consequences of our karma, so we want to get better. And eventually, through that process, we start desiring to know God. So God also has to remember what bhakti we did in our last life and give us the devotional consequences of that. Otherwise, whatever we gained in our last life wouldn't carry over to the next life. He's doing all that seva to us. He has to make sure, we were discussing yesterday when we were down at Kalindi, that even after it stops raining, the water keeps flowing in the creek. How is it? Oh, he arranged it in such a way that the water would filter through the soil over many, many days and weeks and even months and keep flowing out slowly into the streams and rivers, so there would always be fresh water flowing. Otherwise, the water would go down into the ocean in one day after a rain and there would be nothing to drink. So he's arranged to that point of having fresh water available, having all the food available, sattvic food that humans are supposed to eat. He arranged all of that. Look, the arrangement he makes for us in our mother's womb. Our mother knows nothing about how a baby is formed in her womb. Bhagavan makes it such that through the umbilical cord, the baby is getting nourished every time the mother eats something. And even before that child is born into this world, milk comes in the breast of the mother, so that the moment the child is born, there is nourishment available through that milk. But then, how long will a child be able to survive on mother's milk alone? So after a certain time, God makes the teeth come out so that the child can start chewing the grains and other things. So much effort God is doing for us. Whether someone believes in him or doesn't believe in him, loves him or doesn't love him, he's doing this for everybody. He also makes sure souls get a chance, occasionally, when they're ready, to meet a true divine saint, to hear the teachings of and associate with, get the satsang of true divine God-realized saints. He does all of this for us. So who could be a better friend and well-wisher? Vedas say, Divyo Deva Narayano Mata Pita Bhrata Nivasa Sharanam Suhrid Gati Subalopanishad. We have all the relationships with Shri Krishna. He is our mother, he is our father, he is our brother. He is the one in whom we reside. He is our ultimate goal. He is our refuge. He is our well-wisher. He is our friend. Gatir bharta prabhu sakshi nivasa sharanam suhrid prabhava pralaya sthanam nidhanam. The Gita also names all of these different ways in which we're related to Shri Krishna. So we have a multifaceted relationship with Shri Krishna. All the types of relationship you can experience in this world, you have all of that in one place with Shri Krishna, and much more on a much deeper level. Because in this world we relate to our mother, father, sister, brother, etc. on a physical level. Right? They weren't our mother, father, brother, sister in our last life. They are in this life based on the family we're born into. So it's a physical relationship. In our last life, because our soul isn't designated that we have to have the same other soul as our husband or wife in every life, or as our mother or father in every life. So the soul can meet with different souls. But our relationship with Shri Krishna is permanent and eternal. So He is our true divine mother, father, brother, sister. Radha and Krishna are our everything. If it disturbs you to hear that, oh, my relations keep changing in every life, because we don't like that. We want an eternal relationship. But don't worry, you already have that eternal relationship with Radha and Krishna. This is why we have to channel our emotions towards them on the path of devotion, because they are the ones we're looking for. Everyone else can only love us based on their limitations, based on their self-interest, and only for a certain time, whatever time we remain physically together on this earth. After that, we move on and we form all new relations in the next life. We don't like that because the nature of our soul is to want perfect, permanent love and happiness, because we eternally belong to Radha Krishna. But when we forget that and we try to find that permanent, perfect love in this world, then we get saddened by losses. But if we understand the reality of the temporary nature of our worldly relations, and we can fill that void that we feel with the true love, divine love of Radha and Krishna. So this is a brief explanation of the relationship that each and every soul has with Radha and Krishna. From tomorrow we'll take up the topic of what extra special thing does a soul get in their relationship with Radha Krishna after God realization, because they receive the special grace. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki
Jai.
So based on this philosophy now, we'll be chanting this one bhajan written by Jagadguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj. जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना 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 जाना
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना 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 जाना
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना 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 जाना
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना 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 जाना
तनु के जन कहीं माना
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 जीव जनक नहीं जाना 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 जाना
जीव जनक नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
जीव जनक नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
जीव जनक नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
तनु की जननी जननी निज माना,
तनु की जननी जननी निज माना।
तनु की जननी जननी निज माना।
तनु की जननी जननी निज माना।
जीव जननी नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
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 तनु के भ्रात भ्रात निज माना,
तनु के भ्रात भ्रात निज माना।
तनु के भ्रात भ्रात निज माना।
तनु के भ्रात भ्रात निज माना।
जीव भ्रात नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
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 जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
तनु के स्वामिन स्वामिन माना,
तनु के स्वामिन स्वामिन माना।
तनु के स्वामिन स्वामिन माना।
तनु के स्वामिन स्वामिन माना।
जीव स्वामी नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
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 तनु के सखन सखन निज माना,
तनु के सखन सखन निज माना। तनु के सखन सखन निज माना।
जीव सखहि नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
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 जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
तनु के सुतन सुतन निज माना,
तनु के सुतन सुतन निज माना।
तनु के सुतन सुतन निज माना।
तनु के सुतन सुतन निज माना।
जीव सुतहि नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
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 तनु के पतिन पतिन निज माना,
तनु के पतिन पतिन निज माना।
तनु के पतिन पतिन निज माना।
तनु के पतिन पतिन निज माना।
जीव पति नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
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 जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
तनु को ही निज, तनु को ही निज जीव ही माना।
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 निज जीव ही नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
निज जीव ही नहीं जाना, जाना 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 जाना,
निज जीव ही नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना,
निज जीव ही नहीं जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
अब कृपालु तू ही मम माना,
तब कृपालु तू ही मम माना,
अब कृपालु तू ही मम माना,
तब कृपालु तू ही मम माना,
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 अब कृपालु तू ही मम माना,
तब कृपालु तू ही मम माना,
रसिक कृपा जब जाना, जाना जाना जाना,
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 जाना जाना जाना,
जाना जाना जाना,
जाना जाना जाना,
जाना जाना जाना,
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना,
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना,
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना,
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना,
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना,
जाना तू ही मम कान्हा जाना, जाना जाना जाना।
बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की
जय,
श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की
जय,
जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। Before I